In 1943, deep within one of the most secret naval facilities in the United States, a classified experiment began under a veil of silence. The project was codenamed the Philadelphia Experiment, a military operation said to make a warship invisible to enemy radar. But what the world would later hear about that day would defy every known law of physics. It was a cold October morning when the USS Eldridge was prepared for testing. Massive generators roared to life, flooding the air with static and light. Witnesses on shore described a strange green glow surrounding the ship, followed by a blinding flash. Moments later, the Eldridge was gone, completely vanished from the harbor. Radio signals went dead, and radar screens went blank. Minutes later, the ship reportedly reappeared hundreds of miles away near Norfolk, Virginia. When it finally returned to Philadelphia, what investigators found was beyond belief. Some crewmen were missing, others were burned or disoriented, and several were said to have fused into the steel of the deck itself. Those who survived spoke of blackness, distorted sounds, and an endless void. They said they had seen another reality. For decades, the Navy dismissed the story as rumor, a hoax fueled by imagination. Yet declassified archives tell a different story. Documents reference electromagnetic field tests powerful enough to interfere with radar, gravity, and even biological perception. Among those papers appears a repeated phrase, unified field theory. Einstein's unfinished idea, the theory that could link gravity, magnetism, and time into one. If you love uncovering the science behind the impossible, subscribe and turn on the bell, because this story only gets deeper. In the 1950s, whispers began of another project, a continuation of Philadelphia under new names, Project Rainbow, Project Phoenix, and later, the Montauk Project. Whistleblowers claimed these programs didn't just aim to make objects invisible. They aimed to make them travel through time. Reports mentioned Tesla coils the size of buildings, generating magnetic tunnels capable of bending light and time. One witness described walking through a corridor of light, only to see another version of himself walking back. Another swore he experienced hours of time, while clocks outside showed only minutes had passed. Were they hallucinating? Or did they truly step outside of time? Skeptics argue it's impossible. But scattered evidence, missing logs, sealed personnel records, power fluctuations, suggest something extraordinary was being tested. Even government researchers have admitted that, under extreme magnetic conditions, anomalies in time measurement have been recorded. Atomic clocks go out of sync. Light bends unpredictably. And sometimes, instruments detect energy from a moment that hasn't happened yet. If you're still here, you're part of the few who can handle this, hit like, because what comes next challenges everything. Modern physics now supports ideas that once seemed pure fiction. Quantum mechanics shows that particles can exist in two places at once, and that observation itself changes reality. If energy and observation are linked, then controlling those forces could distort space-time in ways we can barely comprehend. The Philadelphia experiment might not have been about invisibility at all, but about discovering how to control the very structure of existence. Imagine what would happen if you could bend time around an object, trapping it in a bubble where hours could pass outside, but only seconds within. Would that be invisibility? Or immortality? Some scientists speculate this is exactly what happened to the crew, their consciousness thrown out of sync with their physical forms, their bodies and minds trapped between dimensions. And here's the strangest part, similar energy readings have been detected near naval testing sites even in recent years. Coincidence, or continuation? Maybe the experiment never ended. Maybe its success was so dangerous that the only option was to hide it not just from the public, but from time itself. So the next time you read about a missing aircraft, a vanished ship, or a signal that travels faster than light, remember the day the USS Eldridge disappeared. Because if time can be bent once, it can be bent again. And maybe, it already has. Would you step inside that field, knowing you might never return? Leave a comment with your theory below, follow for more hidden discoveries, and remember, the truth might already be behind you.